Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Malokhat, senior teacher at Oregon State University. Dear students, I'm very pleased to meet you at my next lesson again. And at our today's lesson, we will speak about the differences between methods of teaching foreign languages. Here we go. Now, first, we will speak about approaches and methods. So the first method is grammar translation method. The next one is the direct method. And the next one is the natural approach. Audiolingual method. Total physical response, that's TPR. The silent way. The suggestopedia. Community language learning. Communicative language teaching. Participatory approaches. Content-based approach. Task-based. Learning strategies and cooperative learning and multiple intelligence. So now we will speak about the differences between the direct method and grammar translation method. So in grammar translation method, it maintains close association between the foreign language and the mother tongue. In direct method, it avoids close association between the second or foreign language and the mother tongue. In grammar translation method, it lays emphasis on speech, and in direct method, it lays emphasis on speech too. So, follows the adult's natural way of learning a language in grammar translation method. So pay attention. But in direct method, so it follows the child's natural way of learning a language, not the adult's. But in grammar translation method, it follows the adult's natural way of learning a language. And the next difference is it teaches the language by rule, not by use. But vice versa of it, in the direct method, it teaches the language by use, but not by rule. This is the biggest difference between grammar translation method and the direct method. And the next difference is it teaches formal grammar from the very beginning in grammar translation method. But in direct method, it doesn't favor the teaching of formal grammar at the early stage. So the natural approach. Emphasis on exposure rather than practice, designed to develop basic communication skills, both oral and written. So the first one, basic personal communication skills, oral. For example, listening to announcements in public places. Second one, basic personal communication skills. Written, for example, reading and writing personal letters. So the next one is academic learning skills. Oral, for example, listening to a lecture. So the next one is academic learning skills. Written, for example, taking notes in class. So here we can see similarities between natural method and the direct method. So it's given here in the form of Venn diagram. In the middle, we can see similarities. The first similarity is it develop basic communication skills. Students listen to teacher. Teacher uses pictures and occasional native language. Just about current level of proficiency. Low affective filter. So stresses the mechanistic aspects of language learning and the language use. Drills in the use of grammatical sentence patterns. Repetition and imitation. Teacher directs and controls the language behavior of students. Vocabulary kept to a minimum. In total physical response, teaches language through physical activity. So reduces learner stress and creates a positive mood by involving game-like movements. Establishes a memory connection. Grammar is taught inductively. Learner's primary role is a listener and a performer. The silent way. Getting to teach means to serve the learning process rather than to dominate it. Teacher begins with something the students already know. Teacher points and gestures. Silence is a tool. The teacher only speaks when necessary. Students develop their own criteria for correctness. The elements of the language are introduced logically. So participatory approaches, Paul Freire, content is based on issues of concern to students. Goal to help students understand forces in their lives, social, historical, cultural. Empower decision making. Language taught in service to action. Experience centered. Language across the curriculum and content objectives and the language objectives in content-based approach. So in task-based one, learners are completing a task with others. Work to understand each other and the task at hand. Problem-solving tasks provide critical thinking and meaningful interaction through authentic learning opportunities. Learning strategy training. Strategies are not taught in isolation. Metacognition. Plan, monitor, evaluate, hands-on experiences, interactive, manipulative, social, affective, interact with others, use self-talk, cooperation with others, and goal transfer strategies. The next one, multiple intelligence. Harvard Gardner. Create activities that draw on all 8 intelligences. Enable each student to reach their potential over time. So dear students, this is the end of our today's lesson. So revise all the material we learned today and be ready for the next time.